Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Look what I've got you today. Well, I have got you something so significant, okay? And this is really going to help you from facing few showdowns or embarrassing situations. Okay, so if you really don't want to face that awkward situation while talking English, that awkward expression is something that you should stop. And what are those awkward expressions? This is what I'm going to talk about in today's video. So in today's video, I am going to give you some list, a list few sentences which are really awkward. It sounds really awkward in English, which is an incorrect English. Okay, so you shouldn't be using those expressions in your spoken English as well as in your written English. Okay, in the second part, let's understand why do we tend to use these awkward expressions in English? Why do we make these kind of errors in our English? And then let's understand how can we actually stop and prevent ourselves from using such awkward expressions? How can we overcome this? Yeah. So are you excited? Do you want to know what are the common errors that you tend to make in your spoken English and how awkward that sounds? Yeah. So let's get started. I'm going to present few sentences to you. So you can see few sentences on the screen. The very first sentence, she don't like coffee. Okay, now the problem here is don't. Okay, generally this is what we use in our colloquial English, in our spoken English. She don't like coffee. Friends, that's incorrect. Okay, how will you put this in the correct English? You have to say she doesn't like coffee. So don't is wrong. Why is don't wrong? Because don't is a plural verb. Okay, whereas she is a singular subject. So mind you, friends, whenever you have a singular subject, you need to have a singular verb, which is does, doesn't. Okay, it is a singular verb. And that's why we have something called as subject verb agreement. Okay, in English. Okay, so the standard structure of English is based on the principles of subject verb agreement. And that is why it is important that you know this topic, subject verb agreement, because you do not know this topic, and that's where you make these errors. So she doesn't like coffee is the correct expression. So I hope you know what is the error that you make and why do you make this. Okay. He didn't knew the answer. I didn't knew. He didn't knew. These are the common expressions that we tend to use in our daily English. Friends, it's a big no. Absolutely no. You can't say didn't knew because you cannot have two past terms in your sentence. So didn't is past. So because didn't is past, you need to have a present verb with it. Okay, you cannot say didn't knew. You have to say didn't know the answer. So you cannot have to past in your sentence. Okay, so that's again an application error that you make. Now these errors, why is these errors happening? These errors are happening because your awareness about the applied aspects of grammar is very low. And well, this isn't your mistake. This isn't your mistake because this needs to be blamed to our formal education system, to our schools. Okay, in our schools, what we have learned is just the theory of grammar. What is the theory? What is a noun? What are the types of nouns? What are the types of tense? How do we convert from simple present to simple past or to present perfect? So the kind of grammar that we have learned in school is just the theory of grammar. Okay, we were not taught in school how are we supposed to use correct grammar in our spoken and written English. Okay, and these errors that I'm pointing out today in, with the help of these sentences, okay, I'm doing that because you understand that applied aspects of grammar is important in your daily English. Okay, it's not that the grammar is not important because you cannot talk like this. She don't like coffee. That's absolutely incorrect. Okay, you have to use doesn't with it. because you have a singular subject she. You cannot say didn't knew because you cannot have a past verb in a past tense with, with a verb which already exists in past, that is didn't. So you have to say didn't know and not didn't knew. Look at the third expression, me and him are going to party. We very often tend to use me as a subject of our sentence. And this is exactly what we have done in this sentence also. Me is being used as a subject of the sentence. My dear friends, me, him, her, them, all these are object pronouns. And because these are object pronouns, you can never use them as a subject of a sentence. You have to use it only as an object in the sentence, not as subject. They can only be the object in the sentence. Okay, and hence the correct expression is he and I are going to party. So I comes later. It's always the second person first and then the first person. Okay, so he and I are going to party. Why do I have are over here? It's a plural verb because we have two subjects, plural subjects. Okay, so here again, what rules are we applying here? Here we are applying the rules of pronoun case errors. It's called pronoun case error. Okay. And we are also simultaneously applying the rules of subject-verb agreement. So these were three simple sentences that I have presented to you. And with the help of these three sentences, I'm sure you have understood that grammar is important. When I say grammar, I'm not just talking about the theory of grammar that you have been focusing in your school syllabus. I am talking about the applied aspects of grammar. So if you want to get your English correct, you have to know applied aspects of grammar. Okay? Moving forward, I need to return back this book. Now, the problem is return back. Return back is a redundant expression. Okay, it's a redundant expression. You cannot have back with return. Return itself means that you are returning back. So back is something which is understood. So you need not have back in your sentence. It makes it redundant. Okay. You will just say, I need to return this book. Just say that. I need to return this book. Yeah. Then look at the next one, a preposition error. I prefer tea over coffee. No. I prefer tea to coffee. Okay, now this is also a very common expressions that I have been hearing from students and professionals talking that, this way that I prefer tea over coffee. No, I prefer tea to coffee. Okay, that's the correct expression. Then, very often you hear this in MBA colleges, you hear this in corporates. Let's discuss about the project. No, my dear friends, you cannot discuss about the project. You can discuss the project. Okay, so you need not have about in that sentence. It's just let's discuss the project. Okay, or let's discuss the project work. Let's discuss the flow of project. You don't need to have about in that sentence. Am I very clear to you? Okay, so these were few sentences that I have brought you today. And with the help of these sentences, all I'm trying to emphasize is that make sure that you get up with the applied aspects of grammar. Okay, no grammar which makes your English unerring. Unerring means without any errors. Okay, so it's not just important to be fluent in English. What is even more important is to be correct in English. So whatever English you may talk, even if you're talking 25% English, okay, which is absolutely fine, but make sure that that 25% is correct English. Okay, you don't just have to go on just to sound fluent. No, friends. Okay, whatever you talk, whatever you write, make sure that is flawless. You shouldn't have any errors. Because if you're talking this kind of English, if you're writing this kind of English, friends, I'm sorry, it's a big time error. Okay, so your English is not flawless. So your efforts should be not just in getting fluent, in becoming fluent in English. Your efforts should be in making your English accurate, making your English correct. And why so? The reason is very simple. If you are preparing for any competitive entrance exams, okay, Those exam boards are testing you on the standard language structure, the applied aspects of grammar. And these are the kind of sentences, even tougher sentences, okay, that you get in your exam, okay, to, to check whether your grammar is, whether you're using grammar in your English or not. Are you getting it? If you have taken any aptitude test of any multinational company, they are also the ones who test you on your standard English. So these are the kind of sentences that you get in your aptitude test. I told you the sentences may even be tougher than what I've given you today. Okay. All that boils down to you knowing what are the applied aspects of grammar, right? So how can you stop making such mistakes? Firstly, increase your awareness about applied aspects of grammar. Know what is applied aspects of grammar. And if you are really keen in leveling up your English quotient and having a strong hold over the applied aspects of grammar, I again welcome you to my English Life Skill Hub, wherein the focus is on the applied aspects of grammar. In using grammar in your day-to-day English, whether it is spoken English or written English, we make sure that there is grammar in every sentence that you create with us. Okay, we make sure that you know different ways of creating one particular sentence. Okay, so we will not just teach you a basic English like, oh, I'm very happy. I will make sure that you know 3, 4 more words when you're when you have to express that you're happy. So I will make sure that I teach you different words like I am ecstatic. Okay, I'm blissful. I am delighted. Okay, so the mission in English Life Skill Hub is very simple: to make your English accurate, flawless, and every day you level up with us by learning new words, by learning new idiomatic expressions, by learning new sentence structures, and by rigorous practice. Okay, and that's where we have a community support, 24/7 community support, wherein you can practice your spoken and written English. Okay, so if you're very keen in improving your English quotient, in understanding how are you supposed to use grammar in your day-to-day English, just focusing on the applied aspects of grammar, I welcome you to my English Life Skill Hub. Okay, so if you're interested, do check the description and you can get in touch with me and I would love to train you. So far, so good in this video. I hope with the help of this video, I have got you some sentences which are basically erroneous sentences in your day-to-day English. And that's how I tell you that in the grammar part is important in making your English accurate. Okay, so learn it, start learning, start developing your English quotient by increasing your awareness about the applied aspects of grammar. Yeah, and do get in touch with me if you really want me to be your mentor. Okay, friends, so thank you so much. See you soon in the next video and take care.